6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, assisted by Chatura, and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The government decides to lift the quarantine curfew on Friday. The Foreign Minister and High Commissioner of the United Kingdom conduct a wide-ranging discussion. Flight operations between Abu Dhabi and Mattala will commence next week. A positive response is expected following discussions to get GSP Plus facility. An investigation will be launched on the conduct of CID officers for questioning journalists. Foreign news, fresh tensions surface between Britain and France over post-Brexit fishing rights. Sports, Manny Pacquiao retires from boxing to focus on political career. Local news in detail now. The government has decided to lift the quarantine curfew, which is currently in effect across the island, on the 1st of October. Army Commander General Shavendra Silva said President Gotabaya Rajapaksa instructed to lift the island-wide quarantine curfew at 4 a.m. on Friday. He said that further information will be given tomorrow. Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Pieris received High Commissioner of the United Kingdom to Sri Lanka, Sarah Halton, and conducted an open and wide-ranging discussion in Colombo yesterday. During the engagement, Minister Pieris and the UK envoy discussed several key issues pertaining to the close bilateral relationship between the two countries. Several key areas impacting on future Sri Lanka-UK bilateral relations were discussed, including the recent initiative to foster and develop domestic reconciliation measures taken by the Sri Lankan government. High Commissioner Halton also raised concerns relating to certain high-profile Sri Lankan cases that are of current interest and focus. Minister Pieris and High Commissioner Halton also discussed enhanced trade and investment opportunities for UK businesses in Sri Lanka, especially new opportunities in the port city development. Widening intra-Commonwealth trade and economic cooperation and related issues were also referred to Sri Lanka's positive commitments in support of global environmental initiatives in the larger context of participation in the upcoming COP26 summit in the UK, and its ongoing efforts in this sphere were also discussed. Aviation and Development Export Zones, State Minister D.V. Chanaka said Mahinda Rajapaksa International Airport, or MRIA, has carried out the highest number of passengers operations in its history. He said MRIA has become an active international airport and rates as a COVID-19 safe international airport. Many of the world's leading airlines are in discussion with Mahinda Rajapaksa International Airport to begin airline operations. He further said 4 airlines have agreed to start operations. The State Minister added flight services between Abu Dhabi and Mattala will begin in the next few weeks. Flight services between MRIA and Male, MRIA and Kazakhstan will start soon following the final stage negotiations with the international company that has agreed to set up an aircraft maintenance unit based at Mattala Mahinda Rajapaksa International Airport. Justice Minister Ali Sabri says that attention will be paid on 27 criteria to get GSP Plus facility. He said that discussions have been held with European Union members in this regard and a positive response is expected. Minister Sarath Weerasekara has instructed the IGP to conduct an immediate investigation into the failure of the CID officers to act following the directive not to question journalists, including newspaper editors. He has also instructed the IGP to hand over the ongoing investigations into the garlic scam to the CID from the Paliguda Special Crime Investigations Unit. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa instructed officials not to summon the journalists to the CID who disclosed the garlic scam over media. The Ministry of Defence says that reports on social media platforms and electronic media stating a likely terror attack on Sri Lankan churches was neither analysed or confirmed by the respective authorities. Defence Secretary General Kamal Gunaratne said there is no reason to panic over the incident. Minister Nimal Siripala De Silva says that views of the private sector trade unions will also be considered on maintaining work activities after opening the country on the 1st of next month. During a meeting with the trade union representatives, the minister said that their views will be presented to the government. Trade union leaders Anton Marcus and Surain Pereira explained the way that the views of the business community could be used for the development of the country. Minister Udaya Gammanpila says that there is no fuel shortage in the country. He said that although the opposition spreads false news on a fuel shortage for 3 months, there was no fuel shortage during the past 3 months. Minister Gammanpila said that there will not be a fuel shortage in the future as well. During a media briefing today at the ministry, the minister said he would not sign an agreement harmful to the country when supplying gas to local power plants. MP Professor Ranjit Bandara says that Sri Lanka is at a leading position in South Asia's vaccination program. He said that the government has prepared a proper plan to maintain the country when it opens on the 1st of next month. Government has paid attention on opening schools and universities. The country has come out of the high-risk situation. He said that the number of persons infected has reduced to about 10%. Sri Lanka's Social Security Board has implemented several projects for the retirement period of self-employed persons. The board has implemented a welfare program for all workers except for those in the public service. Chairman of the board, Saman Hadragama, said that a new program called Saubhagya will be introduced soon. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Deputy Director General of Health Services Dr. Hemant Herath says it's better to open schools with less than 200 students when opening schools in the first phase. He said more attention should be given to schools with less facilities when opening them. Dr. Herath said that the Health Ministry has paid its attention on nutrition programs of children. Director of the Epidemiology Unit, Dr. Samita Ginige, says that 53% of the population has been given both COVID vaccine doses. He pointed out as a developing country, Sri Lanka's vaccination program is at a high level. He said that the aim of the World Health Organization is to vaccinate at least 10% of the world population by the end of this year. And that ends local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Ministry of Health says that another 770 coronavirus patients have recovered and discharged from hospitals within the last 24 hours. This brings the total number of coronavirus recoveries in the country to 456,857, while the tally of confirmed COVID-19 cases so far is 515,524. The number of patients currently under medical care and home-based care is 45,881, while the death toll from the virus stands at 12,786. And that was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Light.
The government plans to complete the establishment of a National Road Safety Commission as the lead road safety authority within this year in order to facilitate smooth implementation of the action plan. At present, the National Council for Road Safety is responsible for creating a secure road system for all road users. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News.
In the headlines, fresh tensions surface between Britain and France over post-Brexit fishing rights. World Heritage Rainforest Daintree handed back to Aboriginal owners. Daniel Craig's final Bond film, No Time to Die, gets 5-star reviews. World news in detail now. Fresh tensions have surfaced between Britain and France over post-Brexit fishing rights. In the latest round of applications, the UK granted just 12 licenses from 47 bids for smaller vessels to fish in its territorial waters. French Sea Minister Annick Jardin reportedly said French fishing must not be taken hostage by the British for political ends. The UK said it would consider further evidence to support the remaining bids. Australia's Daintree, the world's oldest tropical rainforest, has been returned to the Aboriginal custodians in a historic deal. The UNESCO World Heritage Site is over 180 million years old and has been home to generations of Aboriginal people. The Eastern Kuku-Yalanji people will now manage the national park with Queensland's state government. The Daintree borders the Great Barrier Reef and it is one of Australia's top tourism draw cards. Daniel Craig's fifth and final James Bond film, No Time to Die, has received rave reviews from critics. The movie premiered at the Royal Albert Hall on Tuesday following several delays prompted by the COVID pandemic. Many critics took the opportunity to reflect on and praise Craig's portrayal of Bond, particularly the emotional element he brings to the role. No Time to Die marks the culmination of an overarching storyline that began with Craig's first Bond film, Casino Royale, released in 2006. And back to the headlines of the world news. Fresh tensions surface between Britain and France over post-Brexit fishing rights. World Heritage Rainforest Daintree handed back to Aboriginal owners. Daniel Craig's final Bond film, No Time to Die, gets 5-star reviews. And on development news, Sri Lanka's pioneering startup acceleration program, Venture Engine, has launched its 2021 edition with applications now open until midnight on 22nd of October. Venture Engine has returned for its 10th year with plans to help innovative startups. Even though the program will look at seed and growth stage startups, it will also cater to entrepreneurs opting to submit new early-stage business ideas with huge markets. And that was development news.
Sports news.
In boxing news, Manny Pacquiao has announced his retirement from the sport to focus on his political career. The multi-division world champion, who is a senator in his native Philippines, has already announced his intention to run for president in the country's 2022 elections. The 42-year-old's final fight was a defeat by Cuba's Jordanis Ugas in Las Vegas last month. Triathlon news. Triathlete Lucy Charles Buckley can finally say she's a world champion. After 4 silver medals, the 28-year-old worried a gold medal may elude her, but she triumphed at 70.3 half Ironman in Utah, and she did it in emphatic style, finishing more than 8 minutes ahead of her competitors after a grueling race made up of 1.2-mile swim, 56-mile cycle, and a half marathon run. Football news. European champion Italy will face Copa America winners Argentina next June. UEFA, European football governing body, said an agreement had been reached to play 3 editions of the intercontinental match. UEFA said the exact date and the venue for the match was still to be confirmed, but Naples is reportedly a contender. And that was sports news.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's ICT BPM country brand, The island of ingenuity was promoted at the Digital ICT Week in Luxembourg recently. Sri Lanka Export Development Board, together with the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Brussels, organised the participation of 7 Sri Lankan companies at the ICT Spring Europe exhibition under the ICT Digital Week at the European Convention Centre in Luxembourg. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Turkey, M.R. Hassan, invited the Bursa-based business community to explore a wide range of quality Sri Lankan products and look for investment opportunities available in Sri Lanka. The ambassador had a constructive discussion with acting chairman of the board of directors Ismail Kas and the assembly members and board of directors of the Bursa Chamber of Commerce and Industry to enhance trade, investment and tourism between Bursa and Sri Lanka. And that was Economic News.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report. The Met Department says there is a possibility to develop a low-level atmospheric disturbance to the southeast of Sri Lanka. Several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Matra districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere in the evening or at night. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in the north central, eastern and Uva provinces and in the Hambantota district. That was the weather report. And to conclude this news broadcast, back to the headlines. The government decides to lift the quarantine curfew on Friday. The Foreign Minister and High Commissioner of the United Kingdom conduct a wide-ranging discussion. Flight operations between Abu Dhabi and Mattala will commence next week. A positive response is expected following discussions to get GSP Plus facility. An investigation will be launched on the conduct of CID officers for questioning journalists. Foreign news, fresh tensions surface between Britain and France over post-Brexit fishing rights. Sports news, Manny Pacquiao retires from boxing to focus on political career. And with that, we end this news broadcast.